Hey everybody, Mr. Reeves with you again, and we are looking now at ratios. All right, so if you did not get a chance to watch the Khan Academy videos on ratios and work through the practice that's there and read through the notes that they provided, please go back and do that because I'm going to be working under the assumption that you have done so because he does a really good job talking about what a ratio is and working through some problems. But a quick review. A ratio is simply a comparison of two numbers. That's it, a comparison of two numbers, and those numbers usually represent something. For example, we could have a ratio of boys to girls. We could have a ratio of blondes to brunettes. We could have a ratio of tall people to not tall people. You can compare any two things, and we call it a ratio. All right, one of the other things that Mr. Khan talked about was ways to represent a ratio. All right, we use the word to, but then sometimes we replace the word to with a colon, or sometimes we even write it as a fraction. Okay, so I'm specifically going to be working through some problems off this worksheet on which your practice is based. So here we go. So we've got these black pluses and these blue hearts. So this problem says, what is the ratio of black pluses to blue hearts? And you can see here they are using the colon to compare them. And then they want us to go ahead and simplify when we are done. Again, that process was talked about in the Khan Academy video. So let's go ahead here and take a look at what we have. All right, so first thing we need to know is how many do we have total. All right, so I want to know how many total black pluses there are, and I want to know how many total blue hearts there are. Okay, and I'm going to use multiplication so I don't have to count one by one. I recommend you don't count by one when there's this many because you're likely to make a mistake. And that's what multiplication is, repeated addition, right? So if we take a look here, I have 3 across, 1, 2, 3, right? And going down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 3 times 9, or 27 total black pluses. Okay, all right, now what about the blue hearts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 going across, right? There's 4 more, and going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 going down. So here I have 8 times 9, or 72. All right, so I have 27 of the black pluses and 72 of the blue hearts. So if I want to write that ratio, what is the ratio of black pluses to blue hearts? All right, the black pluses come first, and order is essential in a ratio, that you do it in the order that they ask. So 27 to 72. So that is my ratio that is not simplified. Again, I can write it as 27 to 72 using the word to. I can write it as 27 to 72 using the colon symbol, or I can write it as a fraction, 27 to 72. All three of these are correct ways to represent the ratio of the black pluses to the blue hearts. Okay? All right. Now, they want us to simplify it. Now, when we talk about simplifying a fraction, what we say is, what are the common factors? So we would say, okay, well, what number do I know that goes into both 27 and 72? Well, if you know your 9 times tables, you know that 27 is 9 times 3, and 72 is 9 times 8. So hopefully you could see that 27 divided by 9 is 3, and 72 divided by 9 is 8. And so the simplified ratio would be 3 to 8. But I have good news for you. There's an easier way when they give you a picture like this. There's an easier way to see it. And again, for those of you who took the time to watch the Khan Academy video, he showed you this, right? I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this first row right here. All right? Do you see how every row is exactly the same? Every row is exactly the same. We have 9 rows of the same thing. So if you want it to be simplified, all you have to do is take one of these rows, and that will give you your simplified ratio right there. So if I simply just focus on one of the rows, what do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you see those numbers? Oh, there they are. 3, 2, 8. And that works because every row is exactly the same, right? What do I have? I have 9 rows of 3 to 8. Well, 9 times 3 is 27, and 9 times 8 is 72. Okay, so there's my unsimplified ratio, and there is my simplified ratio. Okay, so that's how you do that one there. All right, so before I do this second problem here, I'm going to go ahead and come up here and do another one here. All right, so what about this one? All right, here I have black pluses to red squares. All right, so again, I'm going to find out my total for my unsimplified ratio. Let's go ahead and count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going across, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going down. So what is my total? My total is 7 times 7, or 49. So I have 49 black pluses. All right, what about the red squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 going across. And remember, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going down. So my total red squares would be 9 times 7, which is 63. All right, so if I'm going to do my unsimplified ratio, my unsimplified ratio is going to be 49 to 63, right? 49 of these to 63 of those. Okay, but if I want to simplify it, again, if I didn't have the picture, and you're welcome to do it this way if you want to, I would say, what do I know that goes into both 49 and 63? What is my common factor? All right, well, again, it really helps to know your times tables. 7 times 7 is 49, and 7 times 9 is 63. Excuse me, we're dividing both of them by 7. And when we do that, what do we get? 49 divided by 7 is 7, and 63 divided by 7 is 9. And so the simplified version is going to be 7 to 9. But again, there is a much easier way to do that when you have the picture, because we're just going to do what? We're just going to look at this top row here, right? We're just going to say, because every row is exactly the same, the simplified ratio is just any one of those rows, and we've already got the numbers here. Here it is, 7 to 9. There it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so the simplified ratio is simply one of the rows when you have the picture. If you don't have a picture, then you have to simplify the fraction by factoring out the common factor. Okay? All right, now it gets a little more tricky here on this second part, because now they want the ratio of the red ones to these two added together. All right, so again, our initial one here, This is based on our totals, okay? So the total number of red ones we know is 63, right? The total number of red ones was 63. Well, what about the black ones and the red ones combined? Well, the black ones were 49 and the red ones were 63. So now I want to know what are all of them put together. So I'm going to do 49 plus 63. All right, 49 plus 63. I'm going to cheat a little bit and make it 50 plus 62. That's not really cheating, guys. I'm simply taking 1 from here and putting it on there. I'm going to get the same result. 0 plus 2 is 2. 5 plus 6 is 11. And I get 112. If you don't believe me that you'll get the same result, you can add it this way. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. But you see how this one made it easier? All right, so 63 to 112, that is the unsimplified result. Now, what about simplifying it? What about simplifying it? All right, now, this would be a little more tricky, wouldn't it? Because now I would have 63 over 112. And gosh, I'm not sure. My times tables, I know 9 times 7 is 63. I didn't memorize any times table that went to 112. I know that I'm looking for a common factor, right? And I know it's going to be able to be simplified. But it's like, what is that common factor? Well, here's where the picture can be really nice. Because remember, we're going to look at one row. When we look at one row, just one row, how many red are there? There are 9. How many total are there? How many total are there? There are 16. Do you see in one row? Remember, simplified is one row, right? So one row of the red is 9, right? One row of the red is 9, and total is 16. Makes it so much nicer to simplify. All right, now here, what would that common factor be? Well, you guys know if we need 9, 9 times 7 is 63, so that tells me I need to divide both of those. And if we did 7 into 112, well, 7 goes into 11 once, and 7 goes into 42 6 times. So you can see that at 16 when you divide both by 7. But again, this idea that the initial ratio is the total and the simplified is one row, that will just make your life so much easier. All right, so let's go down here. All right, so again, this is my total, and this is going to be my one row. All right, so we had already done the black pluses to the blue hearts, but now they want the blue hearts to the total, okay? So here we go. So how many blue hearts were there? There were 72 blue hearts. Now we need to add these two together. How many that's not red, Mr. Reeves. How many black pluses were there? There were 27 black pluses, and there were 72, right? Again, we're doing total here, our initial here. Well, when I add 27 to 72, what do I get? I get 99. All right, so my initial ratio, my green, man, I am colorblind today. My blue hearts is 72, combined is 99. Now I want to simplify that, and that's going to be one row. Now this one's a little easier than the previous one because, again, if you know your times tables, that is, I know that 9 times 8 is 72, and I know that 9 times 11 is 99, so I get 8/11. But again, if I just went to my one row, this is my one row. Here we go here. 8 plus 3 is 11. So my comparison of the blue hearts to the black pluses plus the blue hearts, there's my 8 and there's my 11 with those two put together. Okay? All right, let's do one more just for good measure. I'm going to do it a little quicker this time because we've already done 2 other examples. All right, we want the ratio of red stars to white hearts. So real quickly, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 9 is 81. All right, and we know that we just have 1 here, and we already know that we have 9 going down here, so we have 9. Okay, so the ratio of red stars to white hearts is 81 to 9, because remember, this is going to be our total here, and simplified is going to be 1 row. Okay, so again, my 1 row, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this 1 row, and I'm going to mark off this 1 row because that 1 row is going to give me the simplified version, because again, I'm dividing them all up so they are the same. And you could see that ratio is 9 to 1. There it is, 9 to 1 for 1 row. All right, so now we're going to do the total, but this time we're comparing the hearts to both put together. All right, how many hearts were there total? There were 9 total. All right, here we had, what, 81 of these stars plus 9. If you put 81 plus 9, what do you get? You get 90, right? 9 to 90. I hope you can see that this one simplifies pretty easily by dividing both by 9. 9 divided by 9 is a 1, and 90 divided by 9 is 10. So this ratio simplifies to 1/10. But again, if we were to just look at 1 row, 9 plus 1 is 10. So for 1 row added together, we get 10, right? There's our 9 plus 1, which is 10. And one of those was the white heart. Okay? All right, so just a word of warning. When you do this assignment on the Google form that I gave you, no spaces, okay? 81, 9 equals 9:1. No spaces, because the Google form is not going to forgive any spaces, and I'm not going to type in all the possibilities with you guys putting spaces in. I'm telling you now, no spaces. And if you forget, you can go back and fix it on your own. All right, I hope between me and Mr. Khan, you now have a good understanding of what a ratio is and how to simplify a ratio. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time.